Okay, this is my final video on World at War 85 and this scenario. Not specifically this scenario. Uh, yeah, all right, we'll cover things that did happen in this scenario that would probably not be a problem. Well, I'd say they definitely wouldn't be a problem if you're playing a smaller scenario. We'll leave those little nitpicks to the end, and let's say what I think of this game. I really liked it. I really did. It's a game that if you've ever played miniature war games, particularly at 6mm scale, it feels like a miniatures game, and I know it's actually you can adapt it as a miniatures game using some of the stuff that comes in the actual expansion pack. It's also got a solo module, which I believe is very good, but I didn't see the necessity of playing a solo module. I was just going to play both sides to the best of their ability. It's not a particularly difficult rule set. It looks complicated and the rule book's big, but it's very large print, lots of examples, and mechanically it's not a complicated game, not by any means. Once you get used to it, the turns roll pretty fast. You probably noticed that by the fact I'm going to do 4 videos today. I would definitely recommend this. I wouldn't recommend this particular scenario for well, it wasn't my beginner's game, but for a beginner to go, even you've got to have the expansion pack to play this scenario, and there is a lot of movement where not a great deal's happening on this scenario. Other things I'd say about this, little nitpicks with this big scenario was there weren't enough counters. There weren't enough random minefield counters. There weren't enough also packed scout counters. A couple were missing. Not missing. Well, yeah, they were in the order of battle, but there weren't counters for them. But I substituted some counters. I think I substituted these anti-tank reconnaissance vehicles for ones that weren't anti-tank. Didn't make any difference to the battle anyway, because they never got close enough to the front to have any influence. Another thing I found is the colours. There's some of these colour codes. They look at that, you can tell what they are on the table, but when you draw your cards, particularly for some of the American ones, it was very difficult to be sure what formation that card represented. So you're constantly going back to the scenario booklet to say, yeah, that regiment's the 8th regiment or whatever. That's set of units. Other good things to say about it, it's not a table hog. There's only one other scenario of this size. I picked it because I like big scenarios. There are loads and loads of small scenarios, 1 mappers, 2 mappers. In fact, the vast majority of them are 2 mappers. And there's lots of different types of things. Now, I didn't get to see everything. I didn't get to see the air support because of the weather. We didn't see any there's no parachute units in here. There's no chemical weapons. There's no sort of micro bomblet artillery deployed bomblets and things. There were minefields, but not actually things that target armoured vehicles and stuff like that. You didn't see any of that. So there are extra weapon systems that you certainly, each scenario you're not going to see everything. There's some good starting scenarios as well, which teach you how to play the game and get you used to the mechanics. All in all, comes with my highest recommendation if you like this type of level, platoon level combat. And I would recommend it if you're a miniatures player, and because it does give you that feel of a miniatures game in a much smaller area. Because if you looked at the scale on this, I think this is about, instead of 6mm, probably about 1mm scale. Right, well, that'll do. There's people who don't particularly want to play the World at War 85 thing. There is a Nations at War, which is basically the same game. It's a lot simpler because it doesn't have all the modern weapon systems, and it has smaller scenarios than this does. That'll be well worth looking at yet again if you like this sort of platoon level combat, which I do. Oddly enough, it's growing on me. Okay, that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. Oh yeah, if anyone's not subscribed to this channel, please can you subscribe, because it helps my channel grow and more people will get to see it if it gets recommended more.